Good afternoon. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and these are Charter Moms Chats, and we've been going live to help families learn important information to keep your kids learning in spite of the challenges of the pandemic. And we're gearing up for enrollment at the next school year, which is, it's hard to believe because it's April now, and we still have a couple months to go in the current school year, but it's still a good time to think about where you might want your kids to go in the coming school year. And lately we've been talking to schools of choice in San Antonio ISD. And I'm so excited about how much growth and change there's been in the choice schools in San Antonio ISD. And the two schools that we're featuring today are both geared towards younger children. And so I'm really proud to have Andrea Pitts, who's the principal of Young Women's Leadership Academy Primary. And we also have Veronica Garza, who's an assistant principal at Irving Dual Language Academy. So these are both schools of choice in San Antonio ISD, and they're going to tell us more about their programs. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So, okay, so the first question I'm going to send over to Andrea, and that's to talk about the mission and culture of YWLA Primary.
So thank you again for having us. We're so excited to be here. One of the things that we really focus on at YWLA Primary is really empowering our girls to find their voices and discover their passions. We really want our girls to be well-rounded individuals holistically, and just being able to really develop leadership skills. We do promote a college environment, but one of the things that we really focus on is teaching our girls to collaborate, teaching our girls to have hands-on educational experiences. So experimenting, exploring, asking why. And one of the things that we really focus on too is just failing forward, that we're going to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. We learn from those. And now what are we going to do to make it better? What are we going to do to improve ourselves and improve our experiences and really showcase our full potential?
That's beautiful. I've been kind of learning about what Young Women's Leadership Academy over the years, and the fact that there's the YWLA secondary school that's been recognized for its success. And I was so excited when I found out that SAISD was going to kind of expand the YWLA network to have a campus for younger kids too. And thank you for giving us like a snapshot of what their mission and culture is. And I'm going to come back and ask you more questions about examples of like what's happening on campus. But first I want to talk to Veronica Garza about at Irving Dual Language Academy. So, and the importance of that is about bilingual education, right? So if you could tell us kind of the mission and culture about Irving Dual Language Academy.
Well, thank you again also for having us. We're very excited to be a part of this, and so that people know about our school. Our campus is diverse. We're all about making it multicultural for our students and making sure that they become biliterate and bicultural from pre-K all the way through 8th grade. So we're really excited that we're an academy that can offer that. We are one of two campuses that's wall-to-wall dual language. And so meaning that we have English and Spanish all over in our campus. From when you walk in through the doors, you'll see some great, all different countries that are represented. So you see a lot of great, we also have been renovated. So it's really exciting to see how new the campus is and what it looks like. So we're all about dual language. We follow an 80-20 model that the district follows, and which means that the students start at 80%.
Veronica, I'm so sorry to interrupt. It sounds like you might have a video running in the background. I'm getting a little extra audio. Oh no, that's my fault. I'm so sorry. I was visiting your website and it started making sound in the background.
Oh, and it comes out.
Okay, so it did. I'm so sorry. Okay, that was my fault. But what I heard you talking about was the dual language model about the 80-20. Yes. So, okay, can you take it from there? I'm so sorry to interrupt. Okay.
Okay. It's an 80-20 model that our district follows, meaning that our pre-K kinder followed at 80% that is in Spanish, and then it increases and decreases in English and Spanish. So by third grade, they're at a 50-50. And so we're very excited to have our students who are coming that will learn English and Spanish, that they work together to learn both languages. And then, of course, in middle school, they'll start taking some of those credit courses that are for high school for Spanish. So but we're wall-to-wall, 2 campuses. We are one of 2, our sister campus as well, and that also does it. But we're very excited to have our kids here and learning 2 languages.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, again, I'm so sorry for messing up the audio there. I'm trying to have too many tabs open. So, okay, so the next question I wanted to send to Andrea, and then, I mentioned earlier that there's a YWLA secondary, and I wonder if you could talk about the network and sort of the interconnections between those campuses, and like how you hope that YWLA Primary kind of lays that foundation maybe for students to go to the secondary school.
Right. So we do have Young Women's Leadership Academy, the secondary school. That's what we refer to it as, to help us keep everything straight. But they are a twice nationally recognized Blue Ribbon School. They just received a nomination for the designation again, and they are our sister school. We are all a part of a larger network, which is the Young Women's Preparatory Network out of Dallas, Texas, and we are a part of 10 sister schools. And then we're also a part of the National Coalition of Girls Schools and the Student Leadership Network. So the great thing about that, it just really opens us up to the opportunity to collaborate with just best practices, especially in single gender education. Young Women's Leadership Academy Secondary has been around now this is their 13th year. And so they have a 100% graduation rate, a 100% college acceptance rate. The girls are very well versed in athletics, in advocation, in social issues, and they're just great young ladies. They take initiative. And so what we wanted to do when TEA approached SAISD and said, you have this really great model, let's replicate this great school and let's add another option. We toyed with several different ideas, and then we said, you know what? What if we capture students earlier than 6th grade? What if we start teaching them and instilling all of these skills into these girls when they are 5 years old? And so not only will they have a voice, not only will they feel confident in who they are and be academically rock stars, but they'll just be just good individuals and well-rounded girls. And so that's where Young Women's Leadership Academy Primary came to life. So we decided to start with kinder in 1st grade, which was last year. We just launched last year. And then we are adding a grade level every year until we become a kinder through 5th grade. So a fully evolved elementary campus for our students. And the great thing is we have this network school that we get to work with the girls at the secondary campus. They come over and visit our campus. Our families go over there and help them with some of their projects. We get to problem solve and borrow ideas from each other too. It's like, oh, I never thought about doing a program like this. Can your girls help my girls code? Can your girls help with the beautification process? Or how about yoga classes? Or how about just doing STEM education and STEAM education? What does that mean? And what does that look like? And we do like a crayons to college walk that we talk about. So having our girls see their students, the YWLA Primary girls, and have them have something to aspire to and know that they just have this network that will last them a lifetime. And the secondary girls is super cute because they feel like our girls are like their little sisters and their babies. So they're like, we want to come see the babies. And my girls are like, we're not babies, we're big girls, but it's just all just camaraderie. And it's just such a great relationship. And we're just so privileged to have that network, not only here in San Antonio, but throughout the state of Texas, and then nationally as well.
Yeah, that's a theme that I've noticed in the SAC choice schools is that so many of them are built on strong partnerships where there's already success and expertise, and it's a question of how do we bring that to more students. And so the model is proven at YWLA Secondary and at the other single sex YWLA type schools in other cities. And so bringing that to younger children it's a fantastic idea, and it's a way to bring life to a campus and to a neighborhood, and build community around that. So it's really exciting to hear about the examples of what y'all are working on. Okay, so I'm going to ask a similar question to Veronica, but I want to ask about Irving Dual Language Academy, kind of in the context of bilingual education in SAISD. And so I guess Irving you mentioned that it's wall to wall, that the whole campus is built around the dual language model. But there are many dual language programs within campuses across SAISD, and there's been a lot of growth in that area. So I was wondering if you could talk more about sort of what's happening in SAISD about bilingual education and dual language education. What kind of change are you seeing, and how is it benefiting students?
It's a great question. So yes, our campus is wall to wall. We are in the heart of San Antonio. That's one of the things I'm very proud of because I'm from this area. So very proud to be, part of something that's happening in San Antonio. Growth-wise, with the work of Dr. Hernandez, we have been streamlining across all of SAISD, where everyone is following the same dual language model, the 80-20. In addition to that, what makes us unique and different, though, is that we're wall-to-wall, meaning all of our classrooms are dual language, and we don't have strands. And so that's one thing that does make us unique from everyone else. However, everyone is following the same dual language model in terms of the 80-20. The transitional program, as it used to be called, people would call it bilingual, but it's kind of like the umbrella, and then dual language is a model of that. The transitional program has been transitioned out. So all of the campuses at SAISD are now a dual language model two-way. And so meaning we have English speakers and Spanish speakers that are here and working together to learn that, whether it's in English or whether it's in Spanish. So they work together, they collaborate. We do a lot of activities that facilitate a lot of the communication so that they're able to work together and communicate and partner and have a lot of that collaboration, so that one of the biggest things of learning Spanish or English is that you're able to communicate. But of course, we want them to be able to do that fluently in writing, reading, speaking, and all the 4 areas, right? And so we want to make sure that they're learning their content areas very strong. And so we really make sure that all that is happening in all the grade levels. So SAISD has changed in terms of what that looks like. We have all moved into dual language, into that 80-20 model. Literacy is very high here as well. And so we make sure that that's happening, and so that the students are also learning from each other and one another. Let me see what else you asked me on the strategies. We use a lot of instructional strategies, one called 7 steps, where students are communicating, speaking, writing, reading, and they're doing all of that together, and that they're making sure that they're learning from one another. As they move into the content levels and it gets a little harder, the academic gets a little harder too. And of course, they're learning it fluently in that second language as well. And students are able to make those cross-linguistic connections using a lot of what they learn in their foundational skills. So when they get into 6th and 7th grade, where they actually have a content area that they're learning completely in Spanish, they're able to transition well. I know sometimes parents say, well, they're going to take science in English, but they're learning it in Spanish. Are they going to do okay? Well, of course, because we teach them all those foundational skills. So a lot of great things happening in SAISD, especially with their bilingual program. We're very excited, and I'm very excited to be at a campus that we're kind of spearheading. We're trying to move into a national level where we're being recognized. And I know last year we had a lot, unfortunately, things happened, but we had a lot of people come and visit our campus. We're a very high visible campus where we get a lot of national speakers, and they have come and they've given us a lot of really good feedback on how things are going in terms of bilingual.
Yeah, well, that's a great explanation of what's happening with bilingual education. And and like some of the strengths, some of the benefits of the dual language model for students. And I'm excited to see how Irving continues to grow, because that is part of the disruption of the pandemic, is we were able to track. Like, I mean, I've seen SAISD transform. I mean, I know standardized testing that's not the complete picture, but it's a barometer of growth and success. And SAISD brought its district rating up to a B, and I'm excited to see how once maybe some of the disruptions of the pandemic are kind of evened out, like as we get new data, because I'm sure there's lots of great stuff happening at both of y'all's campuses, but we haven't been able to really see it reflected in the data yet. So yeah, I'm sure last year was challenging. So and I want to touch on that a little bit, I guess. So the next question I'm going to ask Andrea and then Veronica to tell some stories about examples of, I guess, with respect to YWLA Primary, how is, like, you talked about the mission, the culture, things like, like how to fail and rebound from that, and then like about like relationships and kind of mentoring between the big girls at the secondary campus and the little girls. Well, they don't like to be called little, but the younger girls at primary. So if you could share like, stories, examples of that culture in action.
Right. So one of the things, I'll kind of give you pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So pre-pandemic, we had our secondary girls come over to the campus, and they were working in our STEAM lab. We have a makerspace lab that all of our girls visit, and they were working with them on STEAM projects and what that looked like, and tying it to literacy. So the girls had to build structures that would protect Chicken Little. So we read the Chicken Little story. They had to protect Chicken Little from the sky falling. And so we had a Chicken Little that it had to fit in their structure. He had to be completely protected. And so just having those questions, there were some that failed horribly. And it's okay. Chicken Little was gone. But then they took that opportunity to work with their big sisters, and they were like, okay, no, we got it. We're just gonna do this different, and it's okay. Like, then Chicken Little will be safe. We had working in our kindergarten classrooms, the girls recreated hurricanes when they were learning about hurricanes, and so they had modeling clay, and they had parameters that they had to follow in creating a structure that could withstand winds, rains, flooding. And so we tied it to, just imagine if your family was living in this, how would you want them protected in that? And then our teacher recreated it with a large floor fan and big water, like a big bucket of water. And then they tested out their thing, but they worked in collaborative groups, and the conversations that the girls were having in that was like, no, I don't think that's going to work, because remember, we have a bunch of water that's coming, and well, no, it can work. We just got to make the clay like this. And so having those debates, but they're very healthy, and then them coming to a conclusion together of, okay, this is how we're going to build it. This is our plan. We got it. And then them getting to see the experiment actually in action. So that was pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, some of the things that we've been able to do with the girls is still just engage the girls in hands-on experiences. We reached out, we have a lot of partnerships, and we reached out to the San Antonio Zoo School, and we were like, we want to do something for the girls that's very aligned to the nature-based education. So in working with the San Antonio Zoo School and Gardopia Gardens, the nonprofit on the east side, we've been able to bring gardening to the campus, where it's a full-fledged student effort during student hours, but then we have family engagement concepts too, where we had a tree planting day, and we planted 50 trees in under an hour because we had such a wonderful family turnout. Our girls literally built garden beds, like drills, hammers, nails. They built them themselves. We showed them how to do it. And so just really more so of just that collaborative spirit. We really like to have that service mindset. So our girls raised over 1,000 pounds of food, or collected over 1,000 pounds of food for the San Antonio Food Bank before Thanksgiving. And so it's really just teaching them about, so like, the world is greater than yourself. And what are you doing to become a contributing citizen to the world? What can we do here? And how does that look? And so we tied that into math. So it's still tied into academics, but it's tied into the social growth and the mindset that we want the girls to definitely have. And we have Blue Jay Senators, which are modeled after the Cardinal Senators at the secondary school. So those are our kiddos that go out and they lead their peers and they say, you have this many, what is your goal? What are we looking for? Our girls gave tours because like Irving Dual Language, we were a highly visited campus and our girls gave tours to visitors. And one of the funniest stories I will never forget, I had a kindergartner, Blue Jay Senator, who was doing a tour and she was taking some visitors into a classroom and she told them, we are about to go into a classroom, so we need to make sure that we remain quiet because learning is happening. Follow me. And I was like, and she's like looking all over, looking at her classmates' work, and they didn't think anything of it. They're showing it to her. So just a really big family and village environment. Our families are super important to us because we have to partner with them. We want to partner with them in order for our girls to be successful. That is our common goal. The families want their girls to be successful. The school wants their girls to be successful. So why not work together to accomplish that? And the great thing is Superintendent Martinez supports us and gives us autonomies to really flesh out our program and really make it whatever is going to fit best for the population that we're serving. And so the same thing with Irving Dual Language, that they have a great program and if dual language is the best fit for your child, definitely go to their wall-to-wall program. It is phenomenal. And they have a beautiful building. But if you're looking for something single gender, come to primary or go to YMLA or go to YWLA. So those are some of the great things that we're just so happy to have the autonomy and the flexibility to do.
I can just imagine what like as a mom, I'm thinking about like if my kids, when they get to do a project at school and then they want to come home and tell about it, I can just imagine like what those conversations were like after pickup when the girls got to tell their moms and dads and grandparents like what we got to do today, and like you said, getting having the family engagement of having the garden project work together, and what a great thing to do to like bring people together but outside so they could be socially distanced during the pandemic. I mean, I know I've been really enjoyed doing gardening with my daughter. We have kind of an herb garden in pots on our patio, and it's been a lot of fun. And she feels really powerful to be able to like take the little seeds and turn them into plants that she can eat. And those are just great experiences for people of any age, but especially for girls to like open up their minds to the possibilities. Okay, so I want to ask to Veronica kind of a similar question, but for at Irving Dual Language Academy, like you described, the mission that it's dual language, and so it's bringing people from kids from English speaking households and kids from Spanish speaking households, and they can learn the content in both languages, and they can interface with each other. And I'm wondering, are there ways that you can facilitate sharing about cultural information and students from different backgrounds be able to like bond and feel like they're part of the same campus?
Thank you. Yes. And thank you, Ms. Pitts. I mean, we're so fortunate that we have such great campuses at SAISD where students can have those choices where they can go to different campuses. One of the things also at Irving is we are also a newcomer. We're actually the only campus in SAISD that's considered a newcomer academy as well. So, which means that we get students from very many different countries. So a lot of people think, oh, it's just, Mexico, or no, but we have kids here from Peru. We have kids here from Honduras. We have kids here from Guatemala. So we kind of, and then this coming year, we're actually going to get some other countries. So it's very exciting because we get to kind of have a blend of different cultures here. And it's so interesting. You walk in and you see everyone talking and everyone, communicate, even with masks, but I'll kind of go with the way Ms. Fitz did it. It was very different. Because we're here in the heart of San Antonio, we like to bring our families in. We like to bring in our moms in, las mamás, to be here and to help. And so it's been a little difficult this year because we weren't able to do that. But we did a lot of things. We also have a mariachi, which is very cultural based. And so anytime that we can have them sing, perform, we did a lot of that performance last year as well. We do a big thing with Dia de los Muertos. So we have the altares, the altars around the campus, beautiful things where they represent their families and their foods and their, and so really beautiful things that you can see just walking around the building and seeing those cultures be represented in different ways. Then you get the kids talking to you about their families and their loved ones, who they miss, and those types of things. So those are a lot of the things that we did. Although now that we came back, post-COVID, we still did the altares. We just weren't able to invite people as much as we wanted to. The students still did like the calaveras, where they had the sugar and they created their own, and they did all these different things, and they were able to go home and take it to their families and share about those different things. But we're very fortunate that we're very technology based, and so all of our classrooms have a smart board. They all have Chromebooks, and so we're real lucky that students are able to interact with teachers that way, where it's becoming, because of especially the post-COVID, we're able to do that. So we're able to do a lot of more technology based now. Our teachers are every day are learning something new when it comes to the technology and how to communicate with the students. So we have all of that as well. One of the unique things that we had was prior to COVID was construction. So as we mentioned, that we have the building was being renovated. So we had a lot of little tweaks and things that we had to do, but we worked our way around it. And now we're very happy to have our campus and being able, but we can't bring a lot of people in to show it off yet, but we'll get there. And we're able to invite more and bring in the community, because we really do enjoy having the community very involved with us. Just recently, if you've ever come by our campus, there's murals outside. Well, our 7th graders are right now in the process of kind of touching them up. And so, as a matter of fact, hopefully it doesn't rain this week. They're going to finish it off. If not, they'll have to finish it off next week. But so we have our murals outside so that's also very cultural, and it brings in the community. We had families who came in and dropped off waters for the kids, and just different things so that we can get very involved with the students, even though we do our best to try to do as much outside.
Yeah, murals. That's such a key part of San Antonio culture, especially on the west side of San Antonio, where the Irving campus is located. That's actually that's on my wish list to do with my kids, like on summer break, is to pick up like the guide, like how to find like murals on the west side, and just like see different parts of town, and we love public art, but it's one thing if it's like this big sculpture, but what's great about murals is that they come like up from the community. It's what people in the community care about. It's what they want to represent on their walls. And so yeah, that's so I'll add Irving to my list of on our mural tour. And I hope that after COVID, I want to visit both of y'all's campuses once it's safe. I've had one dose. I'm waiting for dose 2, and I'm waiting for things to open up a little bit more. But I'm curious about the makerspace. I'm curious about the murals, the altares. It sounds like there's just so much going on. So so my next question is about, and we've touched on this a little bit, about how y'all have had to adapt to the pandemic. It's a lot of use of technology. Finding ways to keep students engaged, even if we can't maybe bring families on campus or can't bring as many visitors on campus. But I'm wondering, are there things that you learned from the pandemic that you want to keep in the future? Are there things that you're looking forward to, maybe as community spread goes down, and some in-person events that you want to bring back? So I'll send it to Andrea first.
Yes, there's so much that we've learned from the pandemic. We have definitely learned how resilient our girls are, most definitely, and just how they are so creative in their thinking, that it has really stretched us, and being able to see the things that they come up with at home, by giving them STEAM challenges. We would give them things, and the submission videos that they would provide us, or them making musical instruments from household items so that they are still actively participating in music virtually. So some of the things that we definitely want to keep are being able to still provide access to, I guess, video conferencing and Zoom and different things like that for our families when we're doing whole family events, so that we can still engage all families, because we have families that work nights, we have families that have multiple children, and it's hard for them to get to the campus. And so we've learned, because we had a painting with your daughter event where we had over 200 people logged into our Zoom, and we provided all of the materials. We did a materials distribution pickup, but they came and they showed up, and it was just so much easier for them to do it via Zoom than necessarily having to try to get to the school by a certain time and then getting everybody out and in by a certain time. And so that was something that we learned. Also, our principals connections, which are the same thing as like a principal's coffee, but being able to really reach our families, because they're on Zoom while they're at work and they're listening, and our families want to be engaged, but sometimes the easier that we make it for them to be engaged, the more likely they are, because they're doing their best for their families, and so that's something that we'll definitely keep. We were very, very privileged in the fact that we are a one-to-one campus. So when the pandemic hit and we had to kind of stop abruptly and like distribute devices, we already had them on campus, and so the transition from technology, like from the in-person instruction to the virtual instruction, our teachers are already very technology savvy, because we do have the smart boards, and we are a one-to-one environment, and we were already using a lot of platforms to enhance the instruction with technology. So it made it just a little bit, one less thing that they had to learn, right? And then we were able to do really cool things like bring Laura Numeroff, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie author, was able to speak to our girls virtually. We were able to have Miss America come do her elephant snot science project for our girls virtually, because of the pandemic. So there were just a lot of different experiences that we were able to have in this virtual environment to keep our kiddos engaged, them submitting videos, them creating a virtual Christmas concert where they sit in their recordings, and then our music teacher layered it so that we could still have a Christmas concert. But then it also made us appreciate a lot more the time that we get to spend with each other in person. So when we have those different materials distributions, like we sent home gardening kits for all of our families so that they could garden and be a part of the gardening program at home, even if they were virtual. Being able to utilize swivels, being able to put kiddos in breakout rooms and trust their conversations, and like, again, getting that student authentic feedback and work. So I would say those are some of the things that we have learned, and we have been able to really capitalize on. We have trivia nights with our PTO now. So it's just been a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's wow. You found great ways to keep people connected, keep kids learning, keep the engagement high, and a lot of those are definitely things worth keeping, right? Like if a parent is able to, join the principal's coffee while they're still at work, I think that's part of the holdup. Is like sometimes like the travel time is, and maybe it's not always virtual, but like if virtual is part of the menu, and some parents are able to join that way, and some parents want to come to the in-person event. It's meeting people where they are and being welcoming to them, however they're able to participate. So that's a wonderful lesson. I think we can all take away. I can apply that in my work. Other schools can learn from that, and it's wonderful that you've been so adaptable and able to, like, develop new programs at work and be able to keep them going, even as we reach some kind of new normal. So I'm going to ask a similar question to Veronica. Are there things you talked about already about how, kind of the school culture adapted, from some of the in-person things that you did before the pandemic to, more like, activities kids could do on campus and then take the project home with them and share that with their family. So are there, and you also mentioned that Irving also had a lot of technology in the classroom and that students had access to. And so that made the transition a little less shocking, the sort of bonus break, right? And then, but are there sort of takeaways, things you innovated, during the pandemic that do you want to keep? Are there things that you're looking forward to be able to bring back into the curriculum as the world kind of reopens?
Yes, and so the same, a lot of the same things. We were able to do a lot of things virtually, where we were bringing in the parents so that they're still participating virtually. We did mariachi things. So a lot of those things we were still able to bring virtually. It was just a little bit different. The other thing I think that is great is having our social media. So we have like our Facebook Live, and so now that, of course, we're trying to do things more outside. So like, for example, we did our Halloween book walk outside. And so we were able to invite the parents through Facebook, and then as well as through the different, the Zoom. So we're kind of tapping into those different areas so that we can try to capture as many people that we can. So a lot of that would be great to keep because we still want to keep the parents engaged. So those types of things I would love to keep going so we can keep moving forward. Everybody uses their social media somehow. So that's a great way to kind of keep everyone going with what's happening, momentum of what's happening in the school. Of course, because we were fortunate enough to have technology, it wasn't a transition. It just was, passing out the devices and getting everyone, of course, Zoom was something new for some people. And so that was kind of a different change. But I think it's a great option now that we're able to have those options, especially right now, like if someone doesn't come in, they join Zoom and those kinds of things. They just have a doctor appointment they have to attend to and they come back online. So I like having those options for the students and I'm not sure what it will look like in the fall, but it's nice right now that they're able to be able to jump on when they can. And then, of course, the different activities. I really want to see where parents are coming back in and being a little more comfortable coming in, viewing the campus. We had a really great PTO who really supported us last year and was always here doing, whether it's outside selling. They even got to sell masks this year for the school, but they would also do luncheons for the teachers in terms of like selling for, to raise funds and during lunch. And I know our teachers miss that. And so just different things. We had a really supportive PTO who was always here and helping us and always even doing things for the kids, doing activities, whether it was Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. Those are the things we kind of miss because we really enjoyed having them here when they were here, and they truly did help us. And then there were moms that would cut things out for us, do things, put things out, so those types of things that, I'll be looking forward to having back once we get back, where they can come back in.
Yeah. It feels weird. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm active with the PTA at my kid's school, and we've had to turn things upside down. And I've gotten really good at mailing spirit shirts instead of meeting people in the parking lot. It felt really weird at first, and now I'm kind of used to it. And I'm like, no, I'm kind of sick of going to the post office. Like, I just want to meet people in Carline like I used to. So, yeah, we've adapted. Some things were kind of annoying, and some things are great. And that like, hey, I learned a new technology, I learned a new tool, and we can bring this going forward. But yeah, I think it's really important to feed teachers. I think that's a great way to show appreciation for them. And yeah, I hope that the mamas are able to bring the cooking back on campus. Okay, so now before we close out, so I always close out with the call to action of like how families can find the websites and things like that. But before we do that, these school leaders have sent me pictures and slides, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop. Let's see, we're going to start with Andrea's slides from YWLA Primary. So okay, so and then you tell me when I'm supposed to go to the next picture. But yeah. I'm really grateful for this because it gives people a sense of like what's happening on campus. Actually, I'm going to full screen this, but you'll be hearing Andrea's voice. So there we go.
So what you're seeing here are some of our girls just in action. One of our second grade students touching the cabbage that they planted and harvested and got to take home in the garden beds. And then you see another one of my students with a drill building the garden bed that housed that cabbage. And then our dance studio. So we had the opportunity to open the only dance studio at an elementary school in SAISD, and it is a fully professional dance studio with professional grade flooring, ballet mirrors and bars, state-of-the-art sound system, and our girls actually participate in dance club, which is one of our mini clubs that we have on campus for after school, and we have a professional dance instructor from the Tobin Center that helps us with that. You could go to the next one.
There you go. Okay.
Yes. And then here is some of the pre-pandemic activities that we actually got to participate in. What you're seeing on the left bottom is one of our parent engagement nights where our girls, again, were all about STEAM and using household products. And they were engaging in a STEAM activity of being able to build and problem solve. Again, it's being able to try something. If it doesn't work, problem solving and revamping and coming again. Our girls built compost bins. That's what you see in the middle there. They had drills again, and they collected food products from their lunches and breakfasts, and they then constructed makeshift compost bins out of Lowe's buckets. But they learned what compost did, why worms were important in compost bins, how they could then utilize that. And then the bottom right picture that you see are our girls actually working with the Southwest San Antonio Girl Scouts, and that was for the Day of the Girl. So they were voicing their opinions and being able to show their support in being able to really talk about the importance of advocacy for women and girls in particular, programs for girls, education for girls, opportunities for girls, especially in underrepresented fields. That's why we're a STEAM school as well. And then our last picture, you could go to the next one, is just some of the things that you're going to see that you see on our campus this year. So again, technology, it has been a huge part of our learning this year, but we still wanted our girls up and moving and talking. So that's the picture that you see on the top left. In a classroom, our girls are still up, they're moving, they have their little journals with them and they're going around. And then you see our kiddos waiting at dismissal. Nobody asked them to do this, but this is just the type of environment that we have and the great girls that we have. One of our first graders pulled out a book and started reading to her friend to help her forget that she was cold. And so like they're just so wonderful. And then last but certainly not least, again, that nature-based education is where you see one of our kindergartners learning how to spell her name and learning about literacy by finding things in nature to create and spell her name as she's recording herself and explaining her learning and explaining her thinking.
Wow. These are great. Okay, well, the pictures are wonderful because they bring to life what you've been telling us about that kind of activities that they do. And I have to say the uniforms are really cute. The little plaid jumpers that they wear and the sweaters. It's very cute uniforms. They're like the little versions of what the big girls wear at the secondary campus.
We're telling them, as you continue, you're going to want to go to the secondary campus, and then you graduate to a plaid skirt. You don't have to wear the little girl jumper anymore. And so we're hoping that also incentivizes them.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna switch up the screen a little bit here, and actually, so I'm wondering. Okay, how about can Andrea and Veronica? I'm gonna take myself off screen for a little bit while I do a tech switcheroo, and I'm gonna bring Veronica's slides up, hopefully. But if y'all could talk about like how families can get involved, or if y'all just want to kind of ask each other questions, since you maybe haven't been able to talk to each other a little bit. So I'm going off screen.
All righty.
Okay.
So one of the things I do really like about the Irving Dual Language, Ms. Garza, is how that separation of the transitional bilingual program used to exist. It's no longer, it's not, these are the Spanish kids, these are the English kids. Everyone is learning as a community. And so how do y'all foster that at Irving? Because I've seen it and it's just so great.
Thank you for asking that. That's a great question. It's, well, for one, it's our kids. Our kids, love working, together. If you walk into classrooms, it's so seamless. You don't see, oh, they're white, they're speaking English. Everybody's blended and talking with one another. The teachers do a great job of making sure to facilitate a lot of learning in terms of communication, and so that they can talk to one another and learn from one another. They bring in a lot of books and literacy so that they're able to do that and have those conversations. But the students work so great together, and they're always communicating, that they don't feel, that they're speaking, well, I speak English and you speak Spanish, those types of things. And you see it all the way up to, seventh grade. The other thing is, I think that they grow as a family, because just like with YWLA, they grow together as a family. And I think that also helps build those connections as well. And so they're able to grow together as a family. We're kind of small knits, just like you guys, and so I think that helps, build those relationships.
Okay, so I'm gonna break in here again, and I just say, like, gold star to both of you for like covering while I do my tech stuff. Thank you so much. And I've got Veronica's slides up here, and so now we get to see pictures from the Irving campus. So
yes, and so
okay, so you tell me when you want me to advance. Okay.
Yes, you can go to the next slide, and then I'm going to talk briefly about this and get us to the video. So of course, this is our vision, which I kind of went through early on, about making sure that we're biliterate and multicultural values, because of course we want to promote that high academic success and be proud community leaders. We can move on. And the next one, I believe, is the goals. So these are our goals, making sure that the students are cross-cultural competence, that they're building that multicultural awareness and appreciation for themselves and for each other. And so that kind of feeds into the question of how do we build that, making those connections. But of course, we want them to have high academic and cognitive skills, and that's something that's built with dual language, because they're fostering different parts of the brain that they typically don't use. And so it's building that proficiency in both of those languages so that they're able to demonstrate that positive cross-cultural attitude, behaviors, and levels of high self-esteem. Okay, move on to the next one. This is just kind of the benefits. So we get this question a lot, is how do we, what are those benefits of being bilingual? Of course, cognitively is one of the big things that we're making sure that it's boosting different nuance in the brain and making them work in typical ways that they wouldn't. And then, of course, the culture and social, they want to build those cultures. The students are bringing their Spanish culture, of course, they're bringing that in, and they build that self-esteem among them. And then, of course, the students that speak English or another language, because we do have students that speak other languages, they bring in their cultural awareness and those pieces. And then, of course, we're providing that positive, where the students are taking advantage of being able to speak multi-languages, in the workforce. So bringing up that economic support and giving them those opportunities to have some different careers as they move into the workforce. You can move on there, and I think you can skip to the next one. This is just kind of our demographics, and then the next one, I believe, is here at Irving. These are some of the things we do. We are flexible and open to change. We do work through with the teachers to POCs. We create an environment that promotes bilingualism. In our announcements in the morning, you'll hear us talking in English, you'll hear us talking in Spanish, you hear students bringing in their, different language. So you'll hear a lot of mixture here. We bring in a lot, and then we bring in the language from the home as well. So we really value what the students bring to us, and we make sure that's there. So we value both languages. It's very print rich. Every room you go into, you're going to see this very print rich environment that is very welcoming. You can move into the next one. This is a picture of these students now are in 4th grade because this is pre-COVID. So this is one of the halls where they were talking. We also have the uniform, the red or the white, and the khaki for the bottoms. And then I believe the next one is a video. We would like to show that. You can go to the next one.
Okay. Oh,
Oh,
sorry. Let me try again. Let's see.
There it is. So I think if you click on present mode, yeah. And then,
okay.
If you can.
It brought it up in another window. Let me, hang on. We'll do a little tech break here.
Okay,
and,
sorry. Ms. Beth, talk about
I'm gonna go off screen. Ms. Garza,
talk about your enrollment.
Yes, of course. So we are currently accepting applications for next school year. We are a lottery school, so we are not selective admissions. So if you live in Bexar County and your daughter is going to be in kinder, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd grade next year, then you are eligible to apply. And so you just have to put in an application. And then if there are seats available, then you more than likely will receive an offer based on your position in the wait list. So you can go to SAISD School Choice, SAISD.net, and you could go to the School Choice link, and then you will be able to apply for our school or for Irving Dual Language Academy. So you have definitely a lot of opportunities and great choice schools.
Okay, so again, you guys get another gold star each for facilitating my tech in the background. And so I'm going to play the Irving video, and hopefully, I think I checked the box to include the audio. So fingers crossed.
Okay.
Me encanta Irving por el programa de doble lenguaje para que nuestros hijos no pierdan las culturas. Para mí es muy importante que mis hijos aprendan los 2 lenguajes, ya que le abre oportunidades en el futuro.
We chose Irving Dual Language Academy because we wanted to connect our son to the culture of the city more than we can do in our own home. The experience has been wonderful. He's loved his teacher, he's loved his friends, he's loved getting to speak Spanish in and out of the classroom, and he's loved bringing it home to our family. If you are looking for your child to learn the ability to speak both languages, we've already seen just the benefit of him being able to speak it all day long.
La razón por la que escogí la escuela Irving fue porque tengo mi niño de kinder. Por esa razón me quise traer al niño de 6º grado para que estuvieran los hermanos juntos. Yo los invito a que vengan, que les den un recorrido a la escuela, no se van a arrepentir, es un ambiente familiar.
Thank you for showing that. Thank you for showing that. So that's our campus. That's who we are. We love our students here. The fact that they can bring in cultures together and learn from one another. We are doing small tours. So if there is someone that is interested in doing a tour, our FACE specialist, Monica Orozco, will schedule that with you, and we'll be happy to take you to the campus and show you around. But again, we're trying to schedule that in. Our enrollment is the same as YWLA, where it's a choice campus based on lottery. We are in the process of going through pre-K through 8th grade for next year. We ask, of course, anything after 2nd grade that you've been in some sort of dual language program, or that you have some sort of Spanish at home, because it does get harder after 2nd grade to start off at that point. But at the early grades, pre-K 3, 4, kinder, and 1st, we welcome anyone that is interested to please apply and see, join our families, ours or YWLA families.
So we actually had a question from Facebook asking, is the pre-K 3 program a full day program?
It is. We have a full day pre-K program.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. Yeah, okay. So I put up on the screen the website for Irving Dual Language, and then also the SAISD Choice website takes you to the Office of Enrollment for SAISD, and that's where you can access applications for all the SAISD Choice schools, and they have people willing to, ready to help navigate the application process. So whether if you need to do a paper application, if you need help in English or Spanish, they're very flexible about. They just want to get the data in the system. So and I should mention that there's actually an open enrollment window happening right now, but it closes on the 16th. So that's the second open enrollment window for the choice schools. So this is a really good time to apply. So, okay, I'm going to put up the YWLA Primary website link, and then let Andrea talk about like how families can learn more about YWLA Primary.
Yes. So anytime that you visit our website, we do have a kind of a virtual tour that's available. We are looking to open the building a little bit later towards the summer so that families can come in and take a tour of the facility, but the virtual tour is available on our website. Also, SAISD is having town halls, so you can participate in a virtual town hall, and we will be at Jefferson High School on April 22nd. And so you can find out more about not only primary, but our secondary school will be there as well. So if you have a daughter who will be in 6th grade through 12th grade next year, and you are interested in our YWLA secondary campus, like I said, they are a nationally recognized Blue Ribbon school, 100% graduation rate and college acceptance rate. So, you can definitely get more information about both campuses, but visit our website. We also have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and a Twitter. So you can connect with us in so many different ways. But we are currently accepting applications right now. Kinder is our only lottery grade level. First, second, and third, if you apply, you automatically go on the wait list, but that does not mean that there's no chance of you getting a spot. We're just finishing filling our spots for our current students, because you don't have to reapply every year. Once you're in, and you are a Blue Jay for life. And so we then go off of the availability of seating based on our current students for first, second, and third grade.
Okay. Yeah. SAC choice schools, it works a little differently than some of the open enrollment charter schools. But I want to mention that in the San Antonio Charter Moms discussion group on Facebook, there are lots of families who've already been through the choice school process for SAISD and can answer questions about it. And really just like calling the campus or calling the Office of Enrollment, like they're great about problem solving and just helping families understand where they're at. Because it is kind of a new world. It's different. Like, when I was going to high school in Texas, that was the high school. There wasn't like a choice school, or, you could really change it up. So parents are having to navigate a whole new world of this. But the flip side is that there's all these amazing programs to choose from, and things like being able to choose a dual language program for your kids so they can have the benefits of the bilingualism and the biculturalism and the bonds that they're making, right? And then like at schools like YWLA or YMLA, there's single sex education. It can offer a different culture and different environment, and sometimes that's really what students need to be able to find their confidence and become leaders, and maybe picture themselves in fields that aren't traditionally associated with that gender, but just knowing that the whole world is open to them. And I'm just so excited about what's happening in SAISD. I think like the town halls are a great suggestion. I went to the one at Fox Tech, and I was just blown away. And I've seen so much evolution happen in SAISD over the 10 years or so that I've been watching, and it's just a really exciting time. So okay, I want to let y'all have some closing thoughts. If maybe Veronica and then Andrea just offer some closing thoughts, and then we'll wrap up the Charter Moms chat.
Well, we're welcome to hope that you apply with us and look for us for next year as a possibility, as a choice. I think both of our campuses are great opportunities for our students and our families. And so it's something you're interested in, kind of the same thing as Ms. Pitt said, once you're in, you're in. So we welcome our families. We are also open, so you don't have to only live in the area. You can live anywhere in San Antonio and apply and, wait for your acceptance and those types of things. But thank you all for having us. We're super excited to be here today, and we look forward to asking any or answering any other questions that you may have.
Again, we are very happy that we had the opportunity to join San Antonio Charter Moms for this discussion. As far as YWLA Primary, if you are looking for an environment where your daughter can be inquisitive, can explore those curiosities, hands-on engagement while also learning a sense of self and being able to recognize her emotions, communicate her emotions, and lead her friends in her own way. Everybody's a leader in a different way. And so playing up to those strengths, then YWLA Primary is the place for you. We have high expectations. However, we definitely support our students in reaching their full potential and possibilities. So feel free to call the school, 210-554-2710. We are more than willing to answer any questions that you may have. And we hope to see your fearless girl with us next year.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you both so much for this discussion. And I hope families are curious and excited about these possibilities and just the range of possibilities that SAISD is offering to families in that, with young children. So thank you so much. I look forward to hopefully coming to visit your campus once the world kind of opens up some more. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.